This is literally a proposal. When you look up here, 3,000-foot views, we're going to become a medical destination. And our vision, 3,000-foot view, and this is what, and that's the thing about these is they're not standalone pieces. You need to create things that you walk through with them, not just email or mail them off. You got to walk through it. So we just said 3,000-foot view. We're going to become a medical destination that nobody should have to leave the Rocky Mountain region without getting the best healthcare in the world. That is our global vision. 300-foot view. We believe that there are 4 things that we need to do. We had a really big research component to this idea, where we're actually reinventing the care for tomorrow. The second bucket is transforming patient care. The third, which I think is relevant to this group, is driving innovation, creating a more diversified revenue stream for the campus. We do really well with NIH. We do really well, I think to the tune of $450 million a year, right? But we also want to get our IP and our entrepreneurs thriving, and my God, we've really been doing that. Then of course our education bucket.
For those familiar with NIH grants, I used to get in trouble at Mayo Clinic doing this. NIH grants are like little turns. There is no room within that to take a quick right because you see something possible and creative. You see, you don't have, you're in very constrained environments when you get NIH. Like, this is not what entrepreneurs understand. They want to be able to take a quick right and double down and rapid prototype. And so the important part that Scott's saying is we have to bring the investor and bring the benefactor in, co-creating ideas, because when you're writing on paper, as soon as the benefactor reaches and adds an idea, the equity share in the idea, positive psychologists will tell you, rises significantly. Because we don't look at benefactors as just their checkbook. They bring a panoply of resources. They're smart, they're connected, they've played with ideas.
You want pronouns
and welcome them all to the table.
You want pronouns like us and we. That's when we know we've got ownership, right?
We should do this. Yeah.
So here's that 300-foot view, and then the 3-foot view is what's the philanthropic opportunity for this benefactor? Now, we did not ask them for $100 million. This benefactor had been given around 8 to 10% of everything that we raised. And so we asked per year. So we asked, if we raised $1 billion, would you keep the same percent of 10%? And he said he would. So that was $100 million. Now, I want to talk about fear and anxiety for a second. So fear and anxiety, it takes a lot of leadership. Hodge just told me are 2 things: creativity and courage. And the amount of time it took us to get leaders internally comfortable with this conversation, because they don't want to fail. You know, it took a lot of coaching and a lot on both sides, the foundation president on the benefactor side and the institutional side, to be able to create a space of dreaming this big. That was our biggest challenge. It wasn't having the conversation. It was getting people comfortable talking up here. That was hard.
Yes, Scott, and it takes a lot of practice to say, would you give us $100 million? And so reducing anxiety is, would you be willing to continue the level of support, the percentage that you've always voted in philanthropy towards this shared expectation, this shared goal? That's a lot easier and a lot more respectful. So that's subtle, but we look for patterns. And what do entrepreneurs look for? They look for patterns. And so everything we do, and Scott has said this, but we want you to understand that this one page inspired this $100 million gift. A lot of entrepreneurs are dyslexic or have some dyslexia. And the last thing you want to do is come with a dense text and a 30-page proposal. And very quickly, I'll tell you what, when I did that with an entrepreneur I actually knew, and he said, let's sit down, what do you got for me? And I pulled out a proposal. And he grabbed it and went like this, because it was heavy. And then, like a frisbee, he threw it across the world's longest white leather couch. And if you've ever had the experience of watching your $38 million proposal jump down a couch, I don't want you to experience that again. And for the listeners, investors have told me over and over again, universities want to do strategic plans, and we've got a big, thick business plan. And working with entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, they put up a slide with a trash bin full of business plans.
But to be clear, it wasn't that one slide that did it, right? What it really was a relationship that this benefactor had with the people presenting that. So it was just the importance of relationship, the importance of taking walks with people for a long time. I mean, that proposal was riding a wave of 30 years of relationship.